All right. Hello. I'm joined today by Karina Maselli, who's from Holistic Frequency Therapies. And I'm going to start doing a series of videos around some of the tools and processes that can kind of help you transmute some of the energy in your body and release some of the emotions and start awakening some of this consciousness that Tim and I talk about on our channel. And so I've invited Karina today to, we're going to explore a little bit. We're not going to go, you're not going to be an expert in this by the end of this, but we're going to explore a little bit healing through sound therapies. And Karina is a master at this, and I've actually benefited from her services. And so I'm going to open it up with some questions and kind of how she found this and a little bit of background. So, Karina, would you like to say anything before we get started?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here. I really appreciate you bringing all the subjects to light and to the knowledge of everybody. This is, I believe, such an important part of being healthy and living a healthy lifestyle. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And no, let's talk a little bit about some of the important aspects of sound in our health and vibrations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this journey for me started several years ago when I was recognizing that everything was energy, and energy has frequency, and so it fascinated me, and I've enjoyed getting to know it more. So let's just dive in. So when we talk about sound therapies and some of the tools you use, can you help kind of give a little explanation about what kinds of things it helps with, and how people, how it works in general in the body?
Yes, I got introduced to sound therapy. I had studied natural medicine early on in my younger years, and the use of all of plants and aromatherapy, homeopathy for our health. And as the journey went along, you learn that in several of our ancient medical practices were based on the fact that our emotions have a lot to do with our physical health. So just that statement in particular was the one that aroused my interest into looking how would our emotions translate into our physical health. We were very familiar in so many levels on how being angry all the time would affect our liver, and being stressed will affect our immune system, weaken our immune system. And so with those few things that I guess we're all aware of, I jumped into trying to figure out how did this happen? How did something that we don't see, like an emotion, could translate into affecting our health. So there's so much information out there, and it's super, super interesting to me how that would happen. It mixes a lot of different subjects in order to understand. So I don't believe it is a one subject, like how does sound affect. It goes all the way down to quantum physics and really the molecules, and because it turns out that everything is vibration. And when you realize that everything is vibration, then anything that produces vibration would be able to affect it. So that's where sound came in for me. There has been so many studies showing the vibrations or the frequencies of different organs on our body. There is different studies also that have shown the different vibrations or frequencies of our emotions, and how do they affect our body. So like I said, I jumped into it with my first course that I took was the tuning forks, and learned how our tuning forks would produce, it's a fixed frequency. They produce a frequency, they're tuned to a certain frequency, and those frequencies would match the different ones in our bodies or the different ones in our emotions. So with understanding that interaction of the vibrations with our body, of what we don't see with what we see, it starts tying all this loose ends about why is it when I'm sick and I take a medicine, the problem might come back. And, it based on Ayurvedic or Chinese medicine, they say that our imbalances would actually start on a vibrational level, so on an emotional level. And we're very good at recognizing the physical part of our health, but we don't follow the roots to where it actually came from. Sometimes being sad, grief, anger, stress, will come and manifest in your body in different aspects where you have weaknesses. So then we get headaches and digestive issues, we get muscle cramps, tension, and we treat that, but the actual root of the problem remains. So when we treat them both, we help our physical body, but also work on the roots of the problem, we have better results, and we have a better hope of finding a balanced state for our health.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Yeah, so when you think about, you mentioned tuning forks. So do you, in case somebody doesn't know what a tuning fork looks like, did you say you had a tuning fork there you can show?
Yeah, I have a couple of different tuning forks. These ones are the unweighted ones, and these ones would be the weighted ones. So the difference on the tuning forks, they produce a different, each one of them, like I said, is tuned to a different frequency. We use the unweighted ones mostly on our energetic part, on our human biofield. These help assist and bring into balance different emotions. And the weighted ones, we actually, because the weight makes the vibration a little bit heavier, you can actually introduce them to the muscle part of your body, to different meridian points in your body, bringing in the vibrations a little bit stronger. So when you activate one of these, the sound is not as loud, but the vibration does. So it's better for introducing those vibrations to our physical body. And the unweighted one doesn't vibrate as much, but it does produce sound. And those we tend to use around in our human biofield. The biofield is this energetic space that is around us, and it holds our emotions. I learned a lot about this from Eileen McKusick. She is a guru on the human biofield. She discovered all this emotions trapped in there, and she works with them. Her book is Tuning the Human Biofield, and she offers courses and smaller workshops. And with her, I have learned all the information on the human biofield, how to work on the emotions that are trapped in there, and how do they come and affect us. So these are, like I said, they're the two kinds of tuning forks that I use, and the unweighted ones with the louder sound would be used mostly on the biofield. And the weighted ones would be used physically on your body. They can be used on both, but generally these produce a heavier vibration.
Okay. So if there's something, to kind of understand a little bit, we have a frequency so we have the field around us, and in our body there's frequencies and sounds and waves going that manage our body or manage our being, our well-being. And when you use a tuning fork, you're kind of bringing that into balance, or into, you're removing those things that are sticking that frequency or getting that frequency a little bit off key. Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah, the way that sound would work is that inside our body, each organ has a different frequency, and that has been shown with the advances of technology and in medicine, they have been able to measure the frequencies of different organs, or what healthy lungs are, healthy heart vibrates at. So we have that provided by medicine, by science, that tells us the frequencies of our body, what a healthy body would vibrate at, and each organ. And also they've been able to measure with those electrodes that they put and measure your brain, and then they show you different pictures of things that would make you angry, things that would make you sad. They were able to also measure the vibrations of the emotions. That's how they did it. And then on our biofield, this is our electromagnetic field, we have our emotions get stuck there. So kind of like if you were a child and you fell down from your bike and you hurt your knee, and then the knee heals, but you have that little scar there. Emotionally, we would have little scars throughout our electromagnetic field of incidents that have emotionally left a mark on us. And depending on what our today looks like, sometimes those scars, energetic scars, will come and affect our present. Even though we overcame that situation, they do leave like an energetic scar. So we can find those with vibration, because again, they are made out of frequency and vibration. So with a unweighted tuning fork, you can find those. It's like hitting, when a wave hits something, it breaks apart. In that same way, when we introduce a sound, and you can hear it, you introduce the fork into your electromagnetic field, and as you move it around, you'll hear the shifts in the tuning fork, and you can determine where this energetic scars or emotional scars are staying there and are now affecting you in your present. And the way that the sound will assist is by the principle of resonance. So if happiness is an emotion that measures a certain frequency, our bodies are mostly water, so our frequencies tend to fluctuate. So when you introduce a fixed frequency, one that does not is not altered, then by the principle of resonance, you are able to bring to its dominant oscillatory rate whatever vibration has been off. And that's how it assists us, both emotionally and physically.
Mm. So in that biofield, if there's something, that an emotion that was stuck, and you utilize that tuning fork to bring that into resonance, does it release, or does that does the person get memory of it, or how does it permanently release, or do they?
Well, I think that the way that it works is, obviously you cannot erase a memory, but what you do is you entrain the energy, or you incorporate the energy that is stuck on your biofield, the fear, the sadness, the grief, the whatever emotion was stuck in there that is affecting you today. You kind of entrain it and incorporate it into today. So even though there was an incident that produced that, obviously you're not changing that. You're not changing the fact that something did happen to you. You're entraining how that energy is affecting you. So if something scared you when you were a child, and now as a grown-up you have forgotten that this incident happened, you obviously overcome it because you're here today. But every time you get a trigger of whatever scared you, you get sick, or so what happens is that today, every time that I would see what scared me when I was a child, I, let's say, get acid reflux. So the way that it would work is, once I entrain, or I release and incorporate that energy, then it won't affect me today. So I can be a witness to whatever was it that scared me, and I would be working, and I wouldn't be getting the acid reflux. If that's how it manifested in my body that specific incident.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Yeah, and then the one that goes on the skin or like in the muscle actually breaks the vibration of, or raises the frequency of that spot in the body. Is that what happens, or?
Yeah, there's different vibrations also that assist for different kinds of changes. There's some vibrations that release. There's some vibrations that move, that assist in movement. And so if you're working on your meridian, you can release. It's kind of like if you have a straw and you're drinking a smoothie and it gets stuck. So you blow on it to clear the straw. In the same way, by introducing vibrations into our energy meridians, if there is anything stuck, it just kind of like unclogs it, and it makes the energy flow. And so a lot of the times what people experience is, again, something that emotionally was affecting you. All of a sudden you realize that your reaction towards this is not the one it was before. And it takes it's not magic, and it doesn't happen in one session. It took a while to get there. So sometimes, it takes a little bit to release or to incorporate those emotions. And if in the physical sense, there's tense muscles, there's a sore spot. Again, like I said, there are weighted tuning forks that have the frequency that assists pain relief, that assist muscles to relax. So you can use them in the body with that intention as well.
Excellent. Well, that's good. Well, I know that you use several tools because I've interacted and played with you several times. So, what are some of the other tools that are used, and how are they different or the same as what the tuning fork does? So what are some of the other tools you use?
Okay, so for sound healing, there's actually a lot of different tools that you can use. You can use the tuning fork. You can also use the singing bowls, the Tibetan bowls.
I love
Yeah, there's chime bars. And then there's also like little bells. And in all reality, they all work the same. They all are introducing vibrations. The idea is when you do a sound therapy, is that you bring harmony into the frequencies that you're introducing, because the way that it works with your brain is it'll relax your brain. So whenever we're awake and alert, our brain is operating at a certain frequency, and when we are relaxed, it operates at a different frequency. On a physical level, what happens in our body is when we're relaxed, our capillaries also relax, so there's more blood flow, there's better oxygenation, and then when we're stressed and worried, everything is constricted a little bit. So as you introduce different frequencies played in a harmonic way, the person that is listening to it will relax, and even if they were hard of hearing or they would fall asleep, we talked about having that electromagnetic field, and so the vibrations are really affecting you. So it's not only listening with your ears, but you're listening with all the antennas of every cell in your body. And the different tools are just to bring in the different harmonics, frequencies, and as long as you produce those, you can have those effects, the effects that you're looking for. I don't think that there's a major difference, and this is just my opinion, in the different tools. I think it's a matter on putting them together and working harmoniously. But the tuning forks are easy to take everywhere. Mm-hmm. So, you can have a bowl or you can have a tuning fork that are both tuned to the same frequency, but obviously it's a lot easier to carry around a tuning fork to take than it would be to carry the bowls to take.
Excellent. Yeah, so what I'm thinking about is, like you were talking, the organs have different frequencies associated with them. And and emotions on a frequency scale have different frequencies associated with them. And like you were talking about the mind, when it's really active, has a frequency. So it's almost like you could choose, do you want to be in happy, peace, and kind of stillness or bliss, or, and then you can pick a frequency that you want to resonate at and utilize these tools to kind of help elevate your frequency. Is that true?
Yes, what happens is that whenever we're stressed or angry, or any of the emotions that we consider them to be negative, not that any emotion is negative, everything has a purpose. But we should be able to let the emotions come and go, whether they're negative or positive, either sadness or happiness, let it come and go, and we should remain. But we have a very hard time doing that. So the idea of bringing in, let's say, sound to heal, it's, again, we go back to how it operates with our brains and relaxes our brains. Whenever it relaxes, it really works directly with your parasympathetic nervous system. When we relax on a physical level, again, our capillaries open, there's better blood flow, there's better oxygenation. So whatever is affecting you, even if you are taking medication, by there being better blood flow, there's better availability of your medication to where it needs to go. And also, we don't only get pollution, let's say, from the food that we eat. We also get it from these emotions. Every emotion that we have, our brain will produce certain chemical reactions. Mm-hmm. If we're angry, the brain will produce angry chemicals, and they travel through your body. They travel through your circulatory system. They bind into the neuropeptides, and that's how we get sick. So there's also pollution in our bodies from our thoughts and from our emotions that might be counterproductive to being healthy. And we know that when we're happy, we produce other chemicals. Our brain will produce other chemicals. Our body will do. It balances our hormones. It regulates our heartbeat. It regulates our blood system. And so that is how we would use the sound. So yes, there are some frequencies that are specific for certain things, for releasing, for love, for incorporating. But it's also, I think it all works together in a combination. In a regular sound therapy session, the first goal would be to relax, and then based on the current situation, what you're working with, you introduce the frequencies that assist for whatever goal you're looking for. I think also we have to add that intention. It's very important, not only for the person that is given the sound therapy, but also the other one receiving it. Mm-hmm. Dr. Emoto has shown in many of his videos how intention works. So that's what I said at the beginning. It dives into this rabbit hole of really all the information and everything that works together from a physical to a non-physical aspect on our health. So I would say it would be a combination of all the different frequencies and the intention, and all of those things that would work on assisting a person.
Yeah, I'd like that explanation, because Tim and I've talked a lot about intention and belief, and you can block things from working just by your belief. So if you believe this food is going to make you sick, or you believe this medicine is going to work, you're right. If you believe that it's not going to work and that you're blocking it, you're right, because you can so much impact what your health and what your everything in your life, really, just by that intention.
Absolutely. I've noticed in different books, like I said, the journey into learning about sound healing has really pushed me to learn so many different things. But on the book about vibrational medicine, on this book, it talks also about our intentions. It's not that I'm going to grab a tuning fork, insert it into your biofield, and voila, you're gonna. If you don't believe, if you're not open, then you are so right. You can close those energetic fields also that will be able to assist you. So it is important to be open. We are like the brain of all the different cells in our body. They operate to what the commands that we are saying. That's when they say, don't say negative things, or think happy thoughts, or be positive, say affirmations. Actually, there is a science behind of that, because whatever we are creating with our minds, whatever thoughts we are creating with our minds, it's almost like orders we're sending to every little cell and molecule in our body. And so if we wake up every morning and say, today is going to suck, today is bad, then we're saying, hey, this is how today is going to be. And then we wonder why at the end of the day we had such bad days, because from the get-go we send the instructions not only to our physical molecules and cells, but to our electromagnetic field. We're sending it out there. And that's how we're going to encounter everything that we come across. So a changing perspective would be the first tool for a healthy lifestyle. Whether it's because you're incorporating a physical workout routine, or you're incorporating a new modality, meditation, sound healing, it's going to affect you as much as you allow it to, and based on your thoughts. Because if you think that working out is horrible, and then you're going to be tired, and you're going to be sore, and you're going to be hungry all the time, and then that's going to be your experience. So intention is very, very important, because we create we create our own reality.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like, as you were saying that, what was coming up in my mind was, we have all these cells in our body that are, make up our human form. It's not one thing. And they're all sitting there every moment listening for what it is we want, or what signal we're sending. And everything responds to us like, okay, they said do this. So whatever we're sending to our body and to our energy field, it's obedient and it's excited to do what it is that we're sending. And so when you think your body is against you, it's like, no, your body is doing exactly what it's, thinks that you want based on what you're sending to it. So if you want to be healthy, but you're doubting it, or like you said, you're putting beliefs in there that are against it, it's going to do what you're believing, because that's what you're emitting to that.
Yeah, it is. It's really interesting. Who's the guy on molecules of emotion, and also on the biology of love? These books are amazing to understand how our emotions and everything that we think really affects us. That's how we can trace, whenever we say a certain illness or something, it runs in my family, or it is hereditary. More often than not, is talking about an emotion, because whenever we were in mom's belly, her emotions affected us. So whatever she was going, it didn't matter how much she loved us. If she was stressed, then the cells in her body were reacting to the stress that she was having, and so that's what we are made out of. In the same way, today, based on my thoughts and my emotions, that's how my cells are going to be operating. So the intention and the importance of how you perceive your life is such a big impact also on your health.
Absolutely. Yeah. So there's so much you can do with sound and help with different situations. When somebody comes to you, like a client comes to you for a sound healing, how do you know what they need, or which instrument to use, or what process to use?
I think that it's really it's really important, first of all, to listen. A lot of the times we know that we just don't feel good. you know, or maybe we have something that has manifested already as a physical ailment. So people will come in and be like, I have belly aches, I have digestive issues, and I've been taking this medicine and it doesn't work. Or people that are going through maybe a long-term debilitating weakness that are already getting some a treatment from their doctor. Sound or vibrational medicine is a complementary method that comes and assists what you're already doing. So, because we're not only a stack of meat, you know, we're not only physical, we're physical and we're energetic and we're spiritual. So we all know that we pray when, you know, we're like, we pray to whoever we believe in. We take medicines whenever we need to, but the emotional part, we never address that part. So, you know, whenever a client will come to me, you know, a lot of the times you listen to what they have to say. You have to be able to trace, to trace the roots, you know, because a bellyache or anger might be triggered from somewhere else. So, you know, first you listen to what they have to say, and then whenever they're on the table, you really do a quick scan on that biofield. Like I said, you introduce the tuning fork, you check on their biofield, and you'll hear where there's dissonance on the field, and that's when you check and see what part of the body is in, you know, closer to your feet, closer to your head, closer to your belly, and that will determine what emotions you're dealing with. And so it's pretty accurate to be able to say what emotion is affecting you and what emotion is, maybe if you have a physical ailment, or if you don't, if maybe it's just grief, some stage in your life ended, or a person in your life is not there anymore. It could be just the emotion, you know. So like I said, first you listen, you check the biofield, and then, you know, based on what you're finding, you can introduce the frequency that you would need in order to assist the person. So everybody's individual. You'll find, and who you are today is not who you are tomorrow, because what affected you today might not be affecting to you tomorrow, you know. So every time you go in, like we are over 75% water, I think. So, you know, our frequencies are always fluctuating. So it is, you know, with sound therapy, you can bring in some resonance to those. But ideally, we want to learn how to listen to our bodies, how our emotions affect us, and then you can do the maintenance work at home, you know. And the maintenance work would be in whatever way it would assist you to have a healthy reality. So what are your perceptions in life, you know? So once we determine in a session what emotions are affecting you the most, we bring frequencies to entrain those. And then, you know, then you explain to the client, you know, well, this emotion does this, and, you know, and you follow the trace and you empower them, you give them the tools and the knowledge, because I think, you know, once we know, we are better capable of doing that maintenance work, you know. There is no sense in, you know, having frequencies introduced into your biofield to assist you if you're going to turn around and then start yelling in traffic or start fighting with your neighbor, because then you're, you know, so it's not, it's like the gym, you know, you don't go to the gym once and goes, oh, I'm fit, you know. It's a work in progress. You know, whenever you choose a healthy physical lifestyle, you do the physical activities, you watch your nutrition, and it's a lifestyle. And the same thing with your emotional or vibrational self, you know. There's tools. These are only tools. They're tools that assist you in bringing some balance, but it is your daily work. It is how you choose to see life, how you choose to move forward, your openness in changing the reality that you might not want. That is going to really come and do the effect for you.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, I appreciate you taking time with me today to kind of share this with some of the viewers, and I know we're going to have some future conversations about some of the other types of tools that you use and things but right now I wanted to kind of give you a chance to say anything about your services or how people can get a hold of you or anything else you'd like to say before we wrap up for today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here with you and sharing all this information. I think it's sharing is one of the best attributes of being a human being, because not one person knows everything. So the fact that we can, touch base with everybody and learn a little bit from everybody, I think that is an amazing thing. So thank you so much for having me here and giving me an opportunity to share this. I have a Facebook page that you can find me at, and I just opened up a clinic by the Conway Medical Center. I offer energy frequency sound healings, energy sessions. Again, I work with any tools that are vibrational, forks, bowls. I also have a photon machine. We work with vibrations of light and the different colors. And we do group sound healings every other weekend. So just jump on the website. I usually put up there what's going on, read about the services. They're explained there. Hit me up if you have any questions. And yeah, that's about it. So thank you so much, Gina. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And I liked what you said about, we all kind of share and know, because there's so much that is available to us that there's no way that one person, in my opinion, can know everything about everything. And we actually have been blessed to have a group of sisters here in the area that do a variety of different healing modalities. And yeah, so we just have fun playing together. And I think that we complement and can kind of educate each other. So I've learned a lot today from our conversation that I wasn't aware of, even though I've known you for some time. So I hope that the viewers also enjoy it, and that we tried to share some books and some other information and websites. If you're interested in knowing more, feel free to explore. And if not, if you have questions, just get in touch with one of us, and we'll try to help answer questions or guide you as you explore for yourself what kind of life you want to create and what kind of tools you want to use. So thank you again, Karina, and I'll bid you a namaste and a good day. And if you'll hold on just a moment, I'm going to stop the video, okay?
Okay, thank you. Namaste.